Welcome back to the Unfortunate Diehards podcast. Hashtag number 48, Daniel Briere. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. We have a great show for you. We have some more games. We have the 3 stars to talk about. And the Sens go undefeated.
2 games
across the pond. And William Nylander goes off.
As usual, he's the best Swede to ever exist.
Wait, how many games have you guys had since the last pod, which was Wednesday?
None. Well, apart from the 2 Sweden games, actually.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because
games.
it was before the Sweden game.
So you have 2 each. Sweden games too now.
That's actually wild. You guys had 2 games. I only had 1. So we have 5 total games we're talking about first.
The last 2 weeks, Leafs and Sens have only played 2 games.
And yet somehow they both have played as many games as the Caps.
Yeah, Caps were a big. I guess
we barely played.
Set that way, I think. The Leafs and Sens had played a bunch, and then they took a long.
No, the Sens hadn't. The Sens are
they hadn't, bro.
Are they still behind?
Yeah, they played 13-14 games.
Interesting.
Sens are at 15. Yeah, Sens and Caps are at 15. Toronto is at 17. So Toronto played more at the start.
Yeah, Leafs played a lot at the start.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you for tuning in to the podcast. I'm Evan. I am an Ottawa Senators fan.
Omar, the Leafs fan.
I always forget if I say Sufjan or Sufi. One of those, and I'm a Caps fan.
You usually say Sufi.
Do I? I say Sufjan. I feel weird saying my own name. I feel foreign. I feel foreign saying my own name.
Anyways, I have breaking news. In the past hour, I've spoken to Brady Tkachuk.
Really?
Yeah.
Where? At the stadium?
Yeah. He was leaving. And he's like, hey, have a great night, boys. I was like, oh, you too.
Oh, he was there for what?
So wait, what?
For, I don't know if I'm allowed to say. He's launching a brand and all the proceeds go to the Boys and Girls Club and stuff in Ottawa.
Is it his own brand or
him and his wife are
okay?
So when you say you spoke to him, just mean he just said have a good day and left. You didn't actually have a conversation with him.
Well, that was
what counts.
Just making our viewers aware of what.
Okay, if Austin Matthews said hello to you, and you said hello, and that was it, you spoke to him. No.
Yeah, technically.
Or would lose his mind. If you got a head nod from Matthews, you'd be like, "Wow."
Yeah,
I got a head nod.
I had an hour long.
Nah, man, these kids are younger than me. I don't revere them the same way I used to when I was.
I'm older than him by a few months.
You're telling me?
No way.
Yeah.
If you saw Connor McDavid, you wouldn't be excited.
I see. What do you mean by excited? What would you expect me to do?
Like giddy. Okay.
I'd be I'd definitely be like, oh hey,
there's no way. I need to see this happen.
That kind of thing. But
no way you just go, I like watching you, great player.
Yeah, honestly, I would, because I've done that before in the past when I've seen players. I don't go all crazy. I used to work in retail, and players. Sometimes I've seen multiple times players come into the store.
I see players, but I still think it's I'm not like, wow.
Yeah, but
inside I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Well,
I'm still trying to figure out.
I used to be like, wow, oh my god, but that's when I was a kid. Now I've grown older, and I'm actually older than a lot of these players. They're like kids to me now. Some of them.
Bro, I'd still be giddy if I saw.
Did you know the only player in the NHL that's older than Omar is Joe Pavelski?
And Maya Giordano. Okay. He's the only player on the Leafs probably older than me.
Tavares is 32.
If that counts.
He's not on the team anymore. He doesn't play.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Tavares is 32.
Oh yeah, Tavares is older than me. Yes. There you go. Yes. I'm still younger than someone.
Anyways, let's start with Sufjan. How's it going in Capsland?
We had 1 game and we won 4-3. And both Goudreau and Laine got benched at the end of that game, which is another thing we could talk about later. Yeah, there was some controversial stuff that happened in that game. Well, actually, there was one major controversy. There's the goalie interference. No one can actually figure out what the precedent is for goalie interference. What actually is goalie interference. So Lindgren makes the save, and there's a scramble. A Columbus player on his own comes into the crease and turns him, and then Lindgren is on the ground, and the puck is on the other side now, and then the player is on his back and holding him down. Puck goes in, goal. They say goal on the ice, okay? Carberry takes a timeout so he can watch it longer, and then they challenge it, and then they lose the challenge too. So the thing that they were saying is like Ovechkin, I think in the Toronto game, he got you remember that goalie interference?
Yes. Yep.
So he just went over Wall and he kind of clipped him a bit. And then like 3 seconds later, Backstrom scored. But there was like, other than that, there was no contact for Wall. But they called that as goal interference. So like if they're
he like jumped into the net.
I know. But after he like kind of touched him, there was no contact. He was just behind him.
Yeah, it was bad.
And I'm not saying that's not goal interference. I would agree with that call. I said it was goal interference. But there was like way more contact than this. And it wasn't called as goal interference. So there's a lot of confusion with that. And for whatever reason, the Caps have the most goals called back this year by like quite a margin. I think we are like 6 now.
You have 6 goals called back already?
Yeah, and like 5 of them are offside, and one of them is goal interference. And the only time that we've challenged anything, we've lost. It's a real time. I do have some very interesting stats. So since October 25th, the Caps are first in the NHL in points percentage with 850. In goals per game, we're 18th. In goals against per game, we're second. So our goals for per game is 310. Our goals against is 210. Penalty kill is 100% since October 25th. Since October 25th, our power play is 7.4%. So we had the best penalty kill and the second worst power play since that time. And also when it became November, we haven't scored a single power play goal in November. So I don't know if I should be concerned or not, but the fact that we're winning without a power play is actually like pretty like relieving, because usually for most of the years it was pretty much the opposite. So and yeah,
the power play picks up because you don't need that.
Yeah. And then roster wise, Edmondson came back, TVR came back.
It's not surprising that when Ovi's not scoring as he usually does, the power play's at 7%.
Well, yeah,
it's always been the power play. Like that one shot has always been their power play.
But that's the issue now, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Now, if he's struggling, like if he's coming out of the game,
but that's not even the thing. He doesn't even get the puck. He hasn't had the same kind of chances that he's had before. Like he's taken maybe 3 or 4 shots from that side that actually like would be like any of the goals they scored in the past. Usually he gets like 10 shots from that side and he probably scores like 2. Right? So that's the thing that I think needs to change on the power play. He needs to move somewhere else. You need to move the focal point somewhere else or add some other.
He's washed.
And then that game that we had against Columbus, like our third line scored all of our goals except for one, which Ovechkin scored, where he was just left by himself, which I think I sent you guys a picture. It was like all the Columbus defenders were below the goal line, and the only person in front of the net was Ovechkin. And then Strome just beat all the defenders. Like I think he got Eric Goodbranson off the puck. Like Strome hit Eric Goodbranson and got the puck, which is odd considering that's the only thing Goodbranson should be good at is strength. And then Ovechkin scored. But then the other 3 goals we had Protas, Lapierre, and Milano. They had goal and 2 assists, 2 of them, and then the other one had 1 and 1. We're getting scoring from like just everywhere. But everywhere except for our
LTIR. See you later, Backstrom.
That's the thing. All their players that are scoring are like under the age of 30. And then the occasional Ovechkin goal sprinkled in.
TJ Oshie, like no points.
Bro, and he's the weirdest case to me. It's like when I'm watching him, like I think I was looking at his stats like 2 weeks ago because I hadn't really paid attention to him that much because I was like, he just wasn't scoring. And I looked at his stats and I was like, I didn't realize it was that bad. And then, well, when I'm watching him in games, it doesn't look like anything is different. He just like he's been right in front of the net a couple of times, and the puck has just ended up in the stands, and not because it deflected off anyone. It's because he was 3 feet from the net and he just lifted it over the net into the netting. He's the most like snake bitten player I've seen in my entire life. But all of our like younger players are stepping up, so it's very encouraging to see. Yeah.
How about Sens land, Evan?
4-0.
That was hilarious.
I was so confident. I was like, I cannot.
Oh,
This is crazy. 4-0. We're gonna win. We're gonna win like 29-0. And then
So I mean, you still won the game. It's
when it
all
was
right.
4-1, I was like, why do I just have like a bad feeling? Like this game's like totally not even like out of reach. 4-2, 4-3, 4-4.
It was
Wasn't it
like
like
10
7 minutes?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't it entering the third was 4-4 or something?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Because I think
Yeah, but Ottawa made it
7:37 or
4-0 in the second too. So it was like
Yeah.
in less than a period.
And then just one goal the rest of the game.
And
They got the OT win though.
Bro, that goal was hilarious.
What I loved about this trip, first of
Oh,
all,
I thought okay, you're the Ottawa fan.
Anyway,
Oh, yeah, it's
what
fine.
I loved about this trip was that the way that it scheduled it, I found was hilarious because you had Sens Detroit, and then Detroit plays back to back versus a fresh Toronto. Then Toronto is off the day after again, and Sens play Minnesota. Then the day after, Leafs get a back to back tired Minnesota. So Leafs got each team on the second half of a back to back. It was hilarious.
Don't you think this is a little sus?
So
He's the one bringing it up, bro.
Sens versus Detroit, Sens versus Minnesota, both fresh teams, and Leafs get each team on the back of
It's sus on both parts. Detroit and Minnesota got kind of screwed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Leafs were just chilling there. Actually, technically, even Sens got screwed because the only team that got teams on a back to back were the Leafs.
But Sens also got a break at least, right?
Yes, they did. Yeah. That's true. Sens got a break. So it was this a very Canadian team favored trip.
It was. That's what they're. I mean, both Sens games were.
And literally, a couple of the wins, like against Detroit, Leafs were down, and they were down 2-0, and they came back in like the third period or something, and then they won it. In the third period, 3-2. That could be because Detroit might have fallen off a bit in the third period, back to back. They could have lost a bit of legs. Minnesota, the Leafs win in OT. So like both games that went the distance. And you never know if the teams were fresh and something else could have happened in those games. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that the Leafs didn't deserve the wins or whatnot, but you know, I just loved it because I was like, "Oh, this is hilarious." We get them on a back-to-back, and we clearly benefit.
I mean, it's not the least fault that they got the back-to-backs.
I'm gonna bring something out for this because we're talking about the Senators right now. No Leafs right now.
Oh my god! You actually brought something like that?
That's hilarious.
No Leafs. Thank you.
Oh, I can see that. No worry.
Anyways,
while yours,
I'm ordering one off Amazon for the Senators.
Anyways, 4-4. I'm like, we're gonna what? I'm dumbfounded that we found a way to lose. Like we were playing defense instead of just playing our game. We essentially threw the game. But then
hockey. Sorry, continue.
Then the first batter up to the plate swings over James Reimer. 2 seconds left in overtime.
Over is a overstatement.
Jimmy Stu wins. For us. And then
that was the perfect example of really good skill and a lot of lack of skill, just in a mix of one play. Because like the Stützle thing, I mean, that goal is insane if you just look at it at surface level, and then you watch Reimer and you're like, "What the hell just happened? Why did a goalie duck away from the puck?" Because if he literally just like looked at it and just stayed exactly where he was, it would have just hit him. But he decided that it was a good idea to be scared from a fluttering puck. Anyway, former Leafs goalie James Reimer.
And then
he's a Toronto draft pick anyway.
The greatest Swedish moment ever. I was like, literally, Ottawa's only 2 Swedes are Brandstrom and Forsberg, and they're not going to get it right. I even thought about betting on it, but I was like, no, that's a bad idea. And then we have a Brandstrom goal, primary assist by Anton Forsberg to tie the game. What? I was like, this is scripted.
It was seriously, even with the
It was crazy. And not many
score of the Minnesota one
close to coming back. And
what was the score of the Minnesota one?
2-1 in a shootout. J9 scored in a shootout.
Oh, okay, fair.
And yeah, roster moves. Schwartz close to coming back. And
was also getting close. You know, the 41 games is ticking.
Hey, Just like
And
Backstrom
Daniel
leaving.
Alfredson is gross at the racquetball or whatever. He beat every single player. He's like 50. He beat every player at this like racket sport.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's
That's
a
pretty cool.
video about it, and so
Like pickleball.
popular Swedish game. So it's like
Isn't it tennis with smaller rackets essentially?
but you can like hit it off the wall
Yeah.
in certain scenarios.
Yeah.
Anyway, so obviously like the Swedish players have played, some of the Finnish players. I think Stutzel plays a lot of tennis and stuff. But they played and Alfredson dusted all of them. He won. I was like, wow, that's hilarious.
Alfie.
Is it so we bring up Backstrom leaving and the Caps winning? Is it a happy coincidence that the Sens start winning when Shabbat's out?
He's been out for a while. They were losing without him too.
But then they started winning. I'm just saying.
Oh,
It's like Leafs and Ryan Reeves.
I've already spoken about the funny scheduling and the wins, so that's funny. But because it's Sweden trip, I think we have to focus on the current best Swedish player in the league, which is
Rasmus Sandin.
which is William Nylander. I don't think there's an argument there. You know.
Oh, there's definitely an argument there. The best Swedish player in the league, Pedersen.
You know, he's.
Oh yeah, Elias Pettersson.
Yeah, what the hell are you talking about?
I was thinking like Rasmus Dahlin, Eric Carlson.
No,
Bro, I could make an argument for Dahlin too.
Bring up my guy, okay? But anyway, he's playing beautiful. I mean, he's the star in Sweden. He just every time he touches the puck, it's like butter. The guy is so
Rizzing up Madison Beer.
The guy is dominant.
He knows Madison Beer.
There was an interview he did on like Swedish television where he's wearing a white tank top and a chain, by the way. Yeah, and in that interview, Madison Beer got like a Zoom call into the thing to like interview her. And then she was the host was like, William Nylander has a question for you. And then Nylander asked, he's like, do you watch hockey? And she was like, nah. And that was she like explained that she didn't watch hockey. I was like, damn. But then everyone just started shipping them, and I'm like, she's not even physically in Sweden.
Maybe physically in Toronto.
She could be. That'd be a cute couple. That'd be huge for the game of hockey.
That would be huge for the game of hockey.
Precisely. But yeah, things are looking good for right now anyway. I wouldn't say they're looking good in the Sens land.
Kicking the table.
I'm not kicking the table.
Every time you swivel, the whole thing moves.
It actually does. Something is shaking. It's like you guys are in an earthquake.
All right. But yeah, so things are looking good apart. I mean, Sens land is still not good. They had a couple of wins, but not good. You know, they're still
Every one of our team has some sort of issue, okay? Like even the Leafs have some sort of issue.
Yeah, we got issues, but I mean, like the Sens issues, you know, it's a different story there.
But the Sens issues are also easily solvable. Fire their coach. We'll go from there.
Yeah.
Leafs issues, getting past the first round and then winning one more game in the second round.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
winning more than 4 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
if the Sens get in, they have no problem winning. You know, at least getting to the third round.
Well, you don't know. They haven't got in.
I'm saying in the past. When they get in like periodically every 5-6 years.
Is there even one player on this roster that was on that roster in 2017? The 2017 Sens that went to the Eastern Conference.
They're all gone.
They're all gone, right? So it's a brand new. This team, we have no idea.
I don't think he was on the run though.
Yeah, fair.
20. Yeah, no, I don't think so. But we do have a Stanley Cup champion on our team.
So do the Leafs.
Why'd you put your right hand up, bro? Bro was going Black Power.
Who's yours?
Stanley Cup champion?
Yeah.
Well,
Matt Murray.
You just said that's not on the team.
Bro, Jake Muzzin and Matt Murray are Stanley Cup champions.
We have
Matt Murray, yeah.
Vladimir Tarasenko.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, we have like 5.
Okay,
we only have 5 guys left from that roster.
Yeah, we have Max Domi.
2018.
Okay.
The Leaf slogan is "Spirit is everything." So in spirit, they've all won the cup.
So if you've checked us out on Instagram, you would see that every week we posted 3 stars. So we have a goalie, forward, and defenseman from every week that we post that we think has been exceptional, and we kind of rotate who chooses what. And so this past week, I was in charge of forwards, and so one of our 3 stars of the week was Sidney Crosby. It was crazy. I hadn't seen all the games, but every time I checked in, it was like 2 goals, 2 assists, like win. Pittsburgh's hot right now. It's super impressive. Like everyone kind of at the beginning, like I think he started a little slow. He wasn't like doing anything crazy, but then over the past while, he's been really, really good. I think in the past week he had 5 goals and 2 assists, but now on the day we're recording, he's had 2 goals and an assist in the past week. But in the past 2 weeks, he's had 10 points, including 6 goals, which includes 19 shots on goals. He has hits, blocks. Just making Pittsburgh competitive, not necessarily single-handedly, but he's a huge reason to why Pittsburgh is doing as well as they are.
I had the defenseman of the week, and for me, it was a pretty easy decision because Cale Makar has literally been on fire. Literally, yes, you see fire on him as he's playing. November last 3 games on the November 15th, November 18th, and November 20th, all 3 games he's got 3 assists. So he has 9 points in 3 games in the last 3 games, which is insane. So I think it was a no-brainer to go Cale Makar for our defenseman of the week. And for Sufi.
Yeah, I mean, I had goalies, and I could go homer pick on this one, thankfully, because the best stats for a goalie were
biased.
Lindgren. He had, I think, honestly, like the stats were 1.5 GA and 958 save percentage, which in itself is good. But I think the important part to realize in that is that he shut out Vegas, which says enough. I think it was like 35 save shutout or something like that. And he saved 2 or 3 breakaways, a couple cross crease saves, and like he robbed Jack Eichel one time, glove save. Like it was a very amazing performance. And then he played pretty well against Columbus as well. So yeah.
Those are our 3 stars of the week.
Brought to you by us.
Sponsored by the Unfortunate Diehards.
No one else.
And now we have a stack game hosted by Sufjan.
Oh yeah. Oh. Okay, yeah, well I'll just say it. So it's top 5 obviously now that we're doing. So top 5, I said skaters, but they're all defensemen because it's top 5 skaters and average time on ice this year. And you get 5 strikes, but you only get 30 seconds per guess.
Top 5 skaters with average time.
All right, it's all goalies.
I said skaters.
I think Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner are on there.
Skaters?
But I also prefaced it by saying they're defensemen.
Oh, I didn't hear defenseman. Sorry. Okay, my bad. Defenseman.
It's skaters, but like the top 20 are defensemen.
I think Morgan Riley's in there.
Okay, so it's teams that have a primarily number 1 defenseman.
Yes. I think McAvoy.
Maybe.
I think I don't think Pietrangelo would be one within the top 5. I mean, could be Cale Makar probably, but was he
Hughes, Drew Doughty?
Quinn Hughes. Oh, Quinn Hughes has to be on there.
Yossi.
I think we should start by saying Quinn Hughes, especially with the season he's having. I'm pretty sure it's getting the most ice time.
Okay, you got to guess.
Quinn Hughes.
Nope.
Cale Makar.
Cale Makar.
Nope.
Okay.
Neither is in the top 10.
What?
But so definitely not the top 5.
But at his age right now,
Drew Doughty.
Okay.
Drew Doughty.
Drew Doughty's 3rd.
Nice. Okay.
So you got 2 strikes and you got 3rd.
How many strikes do we have?
5.
Okay. So Roman Yossi, Matthias Ekholm with Edmonton right now. No. Eric Cross is not getting that much, is he? I don't think so.
No, he probably splits it a bit more. Could be McAvoy. Could be Heiskanen. I think Heiskanen's a good one.
Heiskanen?
He's 5th.
Nice. Okay, I'm down to see McAvoy as well.
Or Darlene.
Oh, Darlene could be. Okay, let's say Darlene.
Darlene is nope.
It's nope.
7th.
Oh.
So I'll give you the times for the other guys, by the way. Drew Doughty was 25:55. Heiskanen was 25:18. Darlene is 24:49. These top 5 are the only guys with 25 over. And the first guy is 26 over.
Shabbat. He did play a lot.
Yes.
Still.
Okay, how about we say Yossi?
Sure.
Yossi?
Yossi sixth.
Oh!
So you got one more strike.
Did we say McAvoy?
No, we didn't say it. Torrey Krug on St. Louis. Hedman?
Sergachev.
Hedman or Sergachev?
Later. Josh Morrissey.
Warinsky?
Evan Bouchard. Warinsky, maybe.
Warinsky?
Seth Jones.
Yeah, he could be, especially on that team.
Seth Jones.
Fourth.
Nice. Okay, one more. So we're missing number one now.
So you need 3, 4. You have 3, 4, 5. You need 1 and 2.
Oh, we're missing two still.
And you have one more strike.
Warinsky on Columbus? You think so? Nah, maybe not. McAvoy? You think McAvoy? But Boston's really good. They have a really deep defense. Maybe he doesn't have to play that much. Like, let's think about teams that really rely on their number one or number two guys. You know, like I don't think Boston needs to rely on McAvoy for 25 minutes a night. Do you think so?
We're just talking at him. All right, guys.
It could be Eric Carlson or McAvoy or
Like Warinsky could rely.
McAvoy would play every situation too.
Yeah, he would play every situation. That's true. But like 5-on-5,
I guess.
fine McAvoy. I thought so.
All right, so now hint time. We'll go pretty quick. Both are in the East, and I don't think you've mentioned either. One of them's pretty tough. The other one, he should have at least been mentioned, but you haven't.
He's tough, like he fights.
Huh? Tough. Well, actually, he does fight a little
Metro or Central? Sorry, Metro or Atlanta?
Both are Metro. Both are Metro, not Adam Fox.
Warinsky?
Nope.
John Carlson?
He's first. 26-16. 26-16.
Sufi talking about all his defense. The Capitals on defense.
Literally?
Well, bro, he's one of the better defensemen.
In my head, I thought John Carlson, but I was like, nah, hell no.
Well, you guys also should have listened to me when I said the Caps decor has missed 3 guys for a long time. He's been playing like in the last month, he's averaged like 28, 29 minutes a game.
Okay, so if you say both are Metro, Eric Carlson?
No, this last one's tough. This is why I gave you 5 strikes.
Provorov.
No.
Okay, name me a Metro team.
This Metro team is currently in a playoff spot.
Pulak.
No, this Metro team is currently in a playoff spot.
So we have Washington, we have Rangers, we have Pittsburgh,
New Jersey
Devils, and Carolina Hurricanes.
Currently in a playoff spot. Look at the standings, bro.
Carolina, New Jersey.
Fine, we'll bring them up, nerd.
Carolina, New Jersey. Brent Burns.
No. Currently in the playoffs.
Not last year.
Yeah, because you put in playoff standings. Put in NHL standings.
Okay, bro. The 3 teams in the Metro in the playoffs right now are the Rangers, Flyers, Caps, and then the Hurricanes.
Rangers, Flyers,
Caps, Hurricanes. And it's not the Caps, I can tell you that, because Carlson was the only guy playing that much.
Who else on the Rangers apart from Adam Fox could it be? Or who on the
Keandre Miller.
It's not the Rangers.
Charlie Lindgren. Jacob Trouba.
No, it's not the Rangers.
It's the Flyers.
It's the Flyers, but I can't give you anyone but Provorov on the finals, so like Flyers right now.
Nick Seeler.
Provorov isn't on the Flyers.
Sorry, not Provorov.
Is it on the Flyers?
Provorov isn't on the Flyers.
No, the person.
The player's on the Flyers.
What? Oh, Travis Sanheim.
Oh, interesting.
Travis Sanheim in 18 games? 18 games is playing 25-58.
Oh,
he has a lot of points.
16 points in 18 games.
That's pretty good.
He's big.
Absurd.
All right.
So, yeah.
That was our stats game of the day. It was interesting.
Ended up taking just as long as our 10 ones, but
I'm on ice.
that last one was tough. Carlson should have at least been mentioned, bro. I don't care how you think he plays, but
All right, so now we have our draft.
no, we don't do a draft every time. It's a
Oh, I
roster.
got the draft. We have the roster game.
Mhm.
Kevin's roster game.
So, since I was talking about Stanley Cup champions on your Ottawa Senators,
Blues.
I would like to know, can you tell me every person that's played at least a game in the playoffs for your St. Louis Blues in the 2019 championship run?
Oh, the 2019 championship team.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
but
Ryan
we'll go for
O'Reilly.
it. Okay, you're starting.
Oh yeah, sure. Ryan O'Reilly.
You already started, so I can't really say anything. Jordan Bennington.
That is also correct.
Petrangelo.
That is also correct.
Tarasenko.
That is correct.
Who else played on that team? Who were the other
3 strikes, by the way.
Oh, I got 3 strikes. St. Louis Blues of 2019. Shit.
I was already struggling here, man.
And feel free to play along with us.
Vladimir Tarasenko.
I already said
Jordan Binnington. Who was the backup goalie? Shit.
I think there's a chance that I win this. There's a slight chance that I win this.
I don't remember anyone from this team.
Could have just went the year earlier. Would have dusted him.
Oh, 20. I could do much better with the 2010 Capitals. Okay, my 30 seconds is up, so I have to get a strike because
That's a strike. Okay, Braden Chan.
Oh shit! Yo, I can't think of a person.
Your deliberation is hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
Am I allowed to help him? Because he's
No, and not until he's done his strikes.
I can't think of a single person.
Just name a player, bro. Honestly, just take a shot in the dark. Give it a good rip.
Torrey Krug. No, he came on after the team. Yeah, that's strike
2.
That's tragic. Colton Parayko.
That is incorrect. Oh no, it is correct.
Ooh.
Yeah, what?
For a second, I was like, he's not on here.
Yeah.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
Damn. I almost played myself. Well, not even. You almost played me.
Yep.
Ryan O'Reilly, Braden Shen, Tom. Who are their depth guys?
Yeah, you're gonna think of a depth guy when you can't think of anyone.
I could only think
Oh,
of.
how are we already on depth? We've named like 2 top 6 players.
Yeah, but who were the other top 6
We
guys?
have 3 top 6 players.
Who were the other top 6 guys on the team that year?
I don't know how many more I can name, but I can definitely name a few.
I literally can't even think of another like top 6 guy they had apart from Ryan O'Reilly and Braden Shen and Tarasenko. There's like 3 players. Who are the other 3 guys in their top 6?
I have their backup goalie. Are you taking the strike?
I'm taking a strike. 30 seconds. Yeah. 3 strikes for me.
All right. So if you say one to win it.
Well, I got 3 strikes, so I got 3 chances to win.
True.
I don't actually know this for sure, but David Perron.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So who are the other guys?
Brian Elliott.
No.
Okay, that's 1 strike. I don't think Thomas or Kyrou were there, but I'll say one. I'll say Kyrou.
No.
Strike 2.
Scandella.
No.
Strike.
Okay, perfect.
All right. So the roster, sorted by
Halak.
points,
Halak.
goes Ryan O'Reilly, Jaden Schwartz,
Oh my god.
Alex Petrangelo, Vladimir Tarasenko, David Perron, Tyler Bozak.
Oh my god.
That's a quick drop off. What the fuck?
Braden Shen, Colton Pareko, Oscar Sundqvist, Vince Dunn, Pat Maroon, Joel Edmondson, Jay Bomeister, Ivan Barbashev, Robert Thomas. So you shot the wrong.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
tragic.
Jay Bomeister.
Alexander Steen, Zach Sanford, Sammy Blay, Carl Gunnarsson, Robert Bertuzzo, Robbie Fabry, Jordan Bennington, and Jake Allen.
Oh, Jake Allen was the backup. I can't believe I didn't remember Tyler Bozak.
I think the most alarming part of that was probably Pat Maroon because his stat thing.
Yeah, I was like, guys.
I definitely could have done better, but because his head wasn't working, I was like, I don't really need to think that hard because I've already won. Damn, Zach Sanford.
Wow, I didn't think that was going to be so tough for you guys.
Yeah, I don't know anyone from that team.
I told you, bro. I would have tried a lot harder in my head if I knew I was against this guy. Damn. Zach Sanford, eh?
All right, so for this episode, the Edmonton Oilers are pretty stinky. So we thought it'd be fun if we sat in the GM chair and we made some sort of transaction to make the Oilers better today. So we've all made a trade that would be compliant via the NHL. And I'll tell you how we are going to improve the Oilers. And we're going to start with Omar.
Okay, I have two trades that I want to mention. Okay, because I did two because I have one that's like a big splash, and the other is a bit more of a subtle trade. Not really subtle, but like it's a bit more of a low tier trade compared to
easier to make
compared to one that's a big splash. So, but I think both, they work cap wise. I just don't know if they'd actually, if any of these players would be moved because of current situations. So my first one is the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers make a deal with the Montreal Canadiens. All right, because Jake Allen has been having a pretty decent season, definitely better than Skinner or Campbell. So I was thinking if we have a multiplayer trade on both, so we've got from one end Jake Allen, Tanner Pearson, and Michael Pezzetta from Montreal in exchange for Jack Campbell, Cody Ceci, and Ryan McLeod. So the reason I think why that would work is, first of all, the Oilers will get Jake Allen, who he's 33. He's not like young, obviously, but he's playing well. I think it'll be an upgrade. Now the issue with the issue with the trade would be getting rid of Jack Campbell, which is I think what the caveat is in this trade. I don't think that would happen. I don't think Montreal would take on a $5 million Jack Campbell. I don't think any team would, unless there's a huge salary retention by the Oilers. So that would just complicate the trade even more cap wise. But this was a 3-for-3 swap that, I think Tanner Pearson brings a bit of more depth, which they're really struggling with, because Holloway and McLeod are really struggling this season when they were supposed to be better. I don't know. That's my little tweak.
I think it's just I think your heart was in the right place. I think it's just the players.
Yeah. Now my other one, the big splash, would be with Nashville, and it would be for it's right here. So I would say from Edmonton, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, a 2024 first round pick and a 2025 third round pick to the Nashville Predators. And while I'm thinking about it, I think that would probably have to be a second round pick because of the deal. And then in exchange for UC Saros.
You know what's funny? I think that's more realistic than your other one.
Yeah, it could be.
Actually. I just can't see them trading Cece. Like, I think Cece's general reputation is that he's bad, which fair enough, but he's too valuable to that team.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to trade a defenseman that's playing in your top four unless you're getting like someone like, I don't know, Matheson or something like that back. Like, then it would be like, okay, it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, Saros, that'd be monumental. Yeah. Especially at his salary too. At $5 million, he's making less than Jack Campbell.
Yeah, oh, man. But yeah, I mean, both cases involve a goalie going to Edmonton, which is, I think, probably what we're all trying to. I'm guessing there's going to be a goalie swap in all of our trades. A goalie
Imagine.
going into Edmonton that's better than what they have right now. But
Well,
yeah,
they don't have problems scoring. They have problems everywhere else.
exactly. Yeah. Which is why that first deal I made tried to address a bit more, but kind of a shot in the dark. I don't know what could work.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I think if you just added some defensemen to the other trade, it probably would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Ivan.
All right, Evan, you go.
Sure. So I did not go goalie. I decided to go defenseman instead. So someone who's been a little lackluster, or maybe two people who've been a little lackluster this year, have been Connor Brown and Jack Campbell. So they're going to do a salary dump and roster spot swap with the Chicago Blackhawks. So sending Jack Campbell and Connor Brown, as well as a second and a third round pick in 2024 for the second, 2025 for the third, in exchange for Connor Murphy, who I think is a pretty useful defensive defenseman, and that'll hopefully benefit the goalies playing Edmonton, being Stuart Skinner and whoever they end up picking. But whoever ended up being the typical backup. They also get Jared Tenorti, who's currently on IR, but hopefully when he's back, doesn't necessarily mean he's going to play all the time. But having that kind of depth that if you do lose a guy eventually as well, you can kind of fill in that spot as a competent defenseman. And then they will be swapping. So there's a conditional pick that Chicago has that they'll be sending it back from Calgary, which is a 5th round pick in 2024 and a 7th round in 2026. So full trades are Connor Murphy, Jared Tenorti, a 5th and a 6th, or sorry, a 5th and a 7th, for Connor Brown, Jack Campbell, a 2nd and a 3rd.
Is there any salary retention?
No, it works.
But I think that's the thing, right? Because I think that to trade Campbell now, it's the value would be that you have to give a pick just to get.
They got 2 upgrades in picks.
But is that enough, though? That's my thing.
Well, so my thought is Jack Campbell is not doing well. Chicago doesn't really care if they do well or not, and can get those pick upgrades as well as they have tons of cap space. And so even getting that, they could maybe flip someone like Perry with value at the deadline and still be cap compliant. Therefore, getting another upgrade again on an older player, and hopefully Jack Campbell can improve his stats over the year or maybe next year, whatever it is, and benefit through that as well.
What's Campbell's term? It's how long was it?
I think it's 4 more years.
Oh, so it's a 5 by 5.
After this year is 3, so like 4 including this year.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. Ken Holland, man, that was
that's
saying,
what.
gotcha.
When does Ken Holland go? Is the question.
Yeah. Our GM trade is to fire ourselves if we're Ken Holland.
Yeah, I think that's, or even just anyone.
Yeah. All right, so what's yours?
Barry Trotz in Nashville. I got trade with Anaheim, trading Jack Campbell, RNH, and a 3rd for John Gibson, Robert Haig. There's 30% retained on Campbell. You see, my thought process here is that Campbell has 0 value. So, and then it goes into negative value because he makes $5 million. So that's why I'm adding a pick with him and the salary retention. And then the thought process of Gibson is like, maybe he hasn't been as good for the last like 3-4 years, but bad team, et cetera, et cetera. And he's had a much better season this year. And he's still young enough to like make the rest of his contract valuable. And I think it'll give them an outright starter in Edmonton, which is kind of what they need. And he's used to playing in a situation where he gets like bad defense on a lot of shots. So hopefully that he can handle that. And then Robert Haig is like, he's kind of been in and out of the NHL, but he has shown flashes of like being competent. And like, if anything, he just adds like depth. So, and like, Edmonton scoring hasn't been as much of an issue, so I think that Hawkins can leave and it wouldn't hurt them too much. I think that they need to like leak or stop the leak on defense for anything to happen. Like they could score 0.25 less goals or 0.5 less goals even, and it'd be beneficial if they stop more, you know?
Yeah.
So, and this would leave them with, this would still leave Edmonton with 2.2 million in cap space, and Anaheim would only be losing 800K or so in cap space, so they still be at like 6.4 million cap space left with a decent amount of players coming off. So, yeah.
All right.
Great.
I think all of these could happen. I don't think they will happen.
I don't think the Montreal one. Or,
I think Jake Allen is the most viable player to get.
Yeah.
He's just the easiest trade to make. But I think the other thing with Allen too is just like how much better does that really make them, right? Like I think him and Skinner aren't too far off the same level. I think Skinner's just having a really bad year.
Yeah, but that's the thing you're taking is that you're going to take a goalie who can be probably similar to your starter, but having a better year.
But that's the thing. Last year, when they traded for Ekholm, that was like their move to get a defenseman that was like they traded a first round pick for him. I think if they to improve in that, they need to like actually go for someone that's kind of close to being a star.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they will do it. I'm saying like in order for things to change, I think that's what kind of needs to happen.
They got to make a splash, I find. Otherwise, I think their season's over.
Yeah.
They'll do something.
Like if they got Saros, that's like a significant difference.
Yeah.
Like that would help them. That would at least propel them further up the standings. If they got Jake Allen or Gibson, even like I wouldn't be as confident to them like making the playoffs or something.
Yeah.
If they got Saros, I'd be like, damn, bet on the Oilers to make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's true. Saros would be a good one.
Right.
Yeah, those were our little tweaks / bigger moves.
Little tweaks, yes.
To make the Edmonton Oilers a little bit better. But, what do we know? We're not,
Apparently not as much as
it's
Ken
actually going to happen.
We'll see. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to the Unfortunate Diehards podcast. We really appreciate you tuning in, and hopefully you enjoy the new structure to the podcast. You can find us on any platform of the following:
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, SiriusXM. Follow us at The Unfortunate Diehards, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. And we'll see you next time.
Snapchat.
We made a Snapchat?
Apparently we made a Snapchat.
All right. Sorry, did I say Snapchat? Sorry.
Maybe it's an Omar person.
Instagram, Snapchat. TikTok, YouTube, and that's it. Sorry. Instagram, Twitter? YouTube, and Twitter, not Snapchat. Twitter.
X.
Follow us on X.
We'll make a Facebook page soon. Don't worry.
Until next week, guys. Take care. Go Leafs, go.
Bye.